Today we're going to learn how to do the Periculum spell.
Periculum!
Welcome to JiffyWiz, where we make magic. My name is Andy Sharp, and if you're new to this channel, think about subscribing. Think about it, and then do it. Because we do new videos every single Monday. Today we're going to do some visual effects. Specifically, we're going to do the Periculum spell, which in Latin means danger. This is the one where he shoots red sparks out of his wand to alert the teachers that Fleur is in trouble in the head's maze. We're going to use Adobe After Effects to do this. It is visual effects time. And since it's New Year's, it kind of looks like fireworks. So let's get started by going to the computer. First thing we're going to do is take a look at the entire segment all together.
Periculum!
Alright, so let's go ahead and break down how I did it. First, let's go into Premiere, and I'm going to show you the two shots that I did to get ready for it. One is me shooting the Periculum in the air, and the other is a whip pan up to the ceiling. You're certainly welcome to always just shoot a shot outside. That way you can do the spell effect, but it was snowing yesterday, so I didn't want to get my camera wet. So I actually did it all inside. So I did a whip pan up into the ceiling. You can see I actually disappear out of the shot, but it's so fast you don't even notice it. So using those two shots, I rendered and brought into After Effects. So here we are in After Effects, and I added a segment of me kind of walking just to break it up a little bit, make it a little bit longer. So walking, and then I'm standing there, I look up, and shoot the spell in the air. The best way I found to reproduce a digital effect that was from the movie is actually just analyze the frames from the actual special effect from the movie. I already analyzed all of those things and put them all together. So if you look at the frames by frame for Harry here doing the spell, the Periculum spell, he starts off with nothing, and then there's kind of like this white razor, then there's two pink blurs, a pink razor, and then you see that spell ball emerge, kind of go up in the air, followed by a smoke trail up, and then a smoke trail kind of wafting to the side, the smoke residue. So that's kind of the first part of the shot. The second part of the shot is up in the air. You see that pink ball, it disappears, and then there's a small white ball glow. You see a sharp white burst, and then a big white glow that fills the entire screen, and then it kind of fades, and you can kind of see the spread of the sparks kind of floating out. And if you look really closely at the sparks, it's not really red, it's more of a white with like a pink halo around it. Let's go into Premiere, and I'll show you the resources that I used to create this effect. I did use a couple of purchased resources for this. I'm going to put a link down below. They're from Film Riot. They actually did a Harry Potter style wand duel. I'll put a link to that video up there. It's a really cool resource. It's called the Extinction Sci-Fi FX HD pack. It's a pretty cool pack. It comes with a lot of different kind of wandy, magic-y sci-fi stuff. So if you're interested in doing a lot more visual effects, I would check it out. I did use two things. One is this little electrical ball. It's actually called the Matrix Extra. The Matrix Extra, and it looks like this. It's just this little energy ball that kind of oscillates. The second thing I use is an optional thing. You can barely see it. It's called Minimal Sparks Impact No Floor. So what this is just a shower of sparks. Third and fourth thing I used, and actually I think I only used one of them, is this one right here. To get that kind of pink glow for the ceiling and kind of that area, I used this lens effect and then changed the color. And then the last two things I used is two smoke effects. One's called Smoke Pass, and one's called Inside Orb. So that was the Smoke Pass, and here is the Inside Orb. So those are the resources that I used. Let's jump back into Adobe After Effects, and you can kind of see the breakdown of my actual shots that I did. So I'm saying the spell here. I got it in the air, and the first thing is that white razor. In order to create the white razor, I first added a lens flare in the base layer, and then I added Matrix Extra, stretched and pulled it, and then changed the blend mode to add. And that creates that big white flash for the first segment. The second frame is that hue, that pink hue. Again, this is the Matrix Extra one. I basically stretched it out so it was gigantic and changed the color using, changed color to a pink color. Messed again with a lot of these different things until I got something that kind of looked like the Harry Potter film. So I've got 2 of those, and then we have that pink razor. Again, just the same as that white razor, except I changed the color to pink. Next, we see the ball of light emerge there, so you can see kind of the electricity around it. And I did change these things to add, so they're on the, if you see the difference, if you do add, then they kind of disappear from all that stuff. So I did add. All right, so you got the ball of light coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just basically moved it up, and you're gonna see a couple of the other effects too. You're gonna see that smoke pass thing right there, and it kind of wafts off to the side. And the other thing I did is use a smoke trail. You can kind of see it right there. Again, this is just a masked off version of smoke pass that I actually stretched, so it kind of made it look like it was shooting up into the air. So now we're going to transition into the whip pan. So here's the whip pan up, and the ball just moves up, so you just do a position, and then I also changed the size of it as I went up higher. Kept that smoke trail, and then this pink around here is still just the matrix extra thing. I'll make it disappear here. So again, it's a gigantic version of that ball with just the kind of glowing edge to make it appear like the entire thing's glowing pink. There's probably other ways of doing it, but I don't know them, and this worked just fine. So and then the ball fades to nothing. So now we're into the pop. What I did is I created a black solid layer, made it screen, and then I did a lens flare on that layer. And actually all 4 of these are all lens flare layers so that I could get some nice effects. So as we go into this, you're going to see the lens flare start small and then grow a little bit bigger. And then we have that big bright burst. So you can see the sparks kind of coming out. And there's that sparks. I changed the colors to pink using change color. Big white burst, so that's all just lens flare. And then that lens flare fades. And so then you're going to see all these little balls kind of pop out and float down. And you can see the sparks there. And I also kept some of the lens flare that fades out. And then you can see another smoke orb there that's kind of the remnant of the pop. So to create all these little balls that pop out of the top of it, I created 2 layers. One was a pink layer, one was a white layer. These are all shape layers, so if you go to New, Shape Layer, and then I drew, using the circular tool, a pink dot, and then I applied lens blur to each of those layers, and I did a pink layer and then a white layer on top of that, and then I just matched their positions so they completely matched. So if you look at their positions, I just copied and pasted the position of one on top of the other. And once I had that, so this one pops out and goes down like this, I copied and pasted and then changed the position of each one of them just by dragging these little boxes to different positions. So all of these go in different positions. You're welcome to get as creative as you want. They do kind of all spread out in a kind of a linear, the same velocities spread out. So just make sure you do that, and you can do whatever you want. Finally, as if they all pop out, I fade the pink color down to 0. Then I also change the opacity of these dots as they fall to 0. And that's it. Let's go over to Premiere again, and I've imported all the footage, and the last thing I needed to do was get the nice sound. So I used a lot of the YouTube resources on the YouTube sound library to do a lot of the sound work for this. So the first one is actually a song called Echinoderm Regeneration. And it's a really cool song. I'll go ahead and listen to it real quick. So you notice right there, kind of goes boom, 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 boom. That was really important because it really gave a nice echoey sound effect. The other sounds that I used was actually one of my favorite sounds because I use it all the time. It's called swoosh. Let me just zoom in here. It's called swoosh. It's great for like any sort of like something whooshing in. And then I used a rifle shot that I manipulated to kind of take the sharpness out of it. So those two right there are the sound of the spell coming out when you do the Periculum. And then the smoke trail kind of going up. It's called smoke bomb. Sounds like that. And then I also use explosion. What's it called? Explosion, hiss, bop, bang for the hiss as well. So listen to that. So I kind of combine that with the pop of the entire effect, using 2 rifle shots. One of them is just a normal rifle shot, sounds like this, and the other one is kind of a really bassy one with the edge taken off. And I just used a sound booth to manipulate these. Just kind of play around with it, whatever sounds good. I also use another explosion, hiss, bop, bang. Sounds like this. So all of those are layered on top of each other, and they sound like this. I'm going to play it without the music. The video might skip because my RAM preview is not working, so just go ahead and listen to it. Don't worry about what it looks like.
Periculum!
Alright, so that's what the sound of a sound looks like, and when you layer it all together, let's watch it one more time.
Periculum!
Alright, and that's how I created the Periculum spell. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and have a happy new year. I hope to see you in 2019 for more Harry Potter DIY. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to follow me on social media, I'm at JiffyWiz. I also have a Etsy store with Harry Potter inspired art for sale. Check that out in the description below. If you haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe right over there in that green dot. We do new videos every single Monday. I hope to see you guys back here. Mischief managed.